Right. Let's see. Let's hope this works. Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Ringwood South. So hopefully, good evening, Dundee Road. How are we doing? I'm just going to see actually if we can do it like. Hang on a second, folks. I'm just going to come up like that. Let's see if that works. And how are we, Dundee Road? Are we okay? Good. Hi, Anthony, Strathmore Junction. I'm hoping it was going to come up on my thingy-bob, but it isn't. Let's see if it does it like that. Because it's easier for me to read, but clearly it is not. Hi, Dave's Trains. Welcome to the stream. Good evening, everybody. Can we all hear me and see me okay? Napton Hill, hi. Hello and welcome to the stream. Philip, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about painting. I'm just going to give it maybe a minute or two and see if anyone else is joining in. Christian Rennie, good evening. Is it Ren or Rennie? I think it's Ren. But welcome to the stream anyway. Like I say, forgive me if I get the pronunciation a bit wrong. And we're going to see how this goes tonight. And today we're going on to talk about part 2 of scratch building, as I promised, and it was going to be painting and decorating, basically. Great 280, welcome to the stream. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing tonight. Like I said, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes before we sort of crack on and everything like that. Like I said, today's all going to be about painting and decorating, so it is going to get a little bit messy, and I will show you the various stages as we go along. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask as we go along. And like I said, we will crack on very shortly. Like I said, it's only, my clock's actually saying it's 7 o'clock, but I am aware that it is just gone 7 o'clock. I was hoping that I could put this onto my iPad, but it isn't. So anyway, right. So really, Anthony, I'm sure that will come out really, really well. I need to check out your channel. There's some channels out there that people regularly tune into my stream, and I need to check into people's channels. I'm subscribed to a fair number of you. Philip, I think you mentioned when I did, I think it might have been you, correct me if I'm wrong, that when I did my Hillsea trip to Portsmouth, you said you wanted to see a bit more of the exhibition and the bus route and stuff like that. So if that was you, just sort of say, because I am in talks with my bosses, and they are in talks with the council about doing a little kind of, I wouldn't say tribute, but a kind of piece. Yes, it was you. Good. Okay, so basically I'm in talks with my manager about, and they're going to talk to the council to do a piece on the shuttle, which is the centre shuttle bus service, which I drive. Obviously, because it's my job, I just wanted to go through the right channels and ask for permission to do these things, rather than just do it and put it up there and inadvertently offend anybody or have any issues with it. So that's kind of why I've asked. So I'm just waiting to get some information back on that, and then I'll let you guys know. So then I'll do a piece on the shuttle. Hello, Graham, and welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in this evening. So yes, so that's on the cards as well. I don't know exactly what it's about. I have explained it to them, but obviously that needs to go through the right channels before I can sort of authorise and do a proper piece on it. Because obviously I don't want to get into any trouble as far as my job's concerned, because of not getting the right permission. So hopefully you guys will understand, and as I get the permission, I'll let you guys know what's going on pretty much I guess we can crack on really, because we've already gone to what's 1902, so we can already make a start and we'll see who tunes in along the way. Right, so when I last... Hello John and 66 and 67, good evening, welcome to the stream. So when I last left you, I was showing you how to use the plastic card and cut the windows, and I said I was going to finish it, and I did the roof. So firstly, I'm going to show you the roof. That is the roof I actually did live a few days ago. Hello Creeping Jane, welcome to the stream. Pete, it's nice to see you. So this was my old roof, and the reason why I'm showing you my old roof, because I wanted to sort of illustrate that with scratch building, if you get it wrong, it doesn't matter, because you can always change it. And because you build it yourself, you know how it goes together, so therefore you can take it apart yourself and redo it. So what I did is, originally, as you guys know, I did the roof and it looked like this, and it was just a plain white roof. And I wanted to add some detail to the roof, and so that was the detail I added. It was some ribbon. It was almost like the ribbon that I added. Hello Jeff Redmond, welcome to the stream. Good evening. And so this ribbon I'd used originally for my canopies when I did the Mac Barringer, some of you may have noticed. Hello David Jones, and good evening and welcome to the stream. And hi Gary, welcome to the stream. It's Gary from Cheeky Tech. That's why there's a cheeky smile. Or cheesy. Cheesy Tech. Cheesy Tech smile. So when I last left you guys, so I dabbled a little bit, and basically I wanted to do some detailing to the roof. And I tried my matchstick method, which I did, and I quite liked it, but you know, it was, I looked at it and 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 I thought, it's just not right. And when I last spoke to you in the last stream, I also, so let's just get rid of that. So when I last spoke to you, I also mentioned that I was looking to get some I-beam and some from Plastistruct. And so that's what I did. I managed to find some from my local moulder shop. And I'll show you what it is. I'll show you a small piece because then it's easier for me to manipulate and actually show you guys what I'm doing. Now, hang on a second. Right. So for those of you who are interested, let me just show you the actual packet itself. Hello Scrap Model Railway and welcome to the stream. Good evening. So this is Plastistruct and it's called an I-beam. And this is the size that I've actually got. However, you can use various sizes. There are various sizes, various shapes. As it so happens, it wasn't particularly cheap. It was £7.70 for this whole length, but you do get quite a lot of lengths. And in short, well, quite literally, this is what it looks like in plastic form. So if I just get right up and personal, so that's what it looks like, and that's kind of what it looks like. Oh, okay, don't worry, Anthony. I look forward to it. I wasn't sure whether you'd already done the video. Well, if you haven't, let me know when you have, and I will check out your channel. And I'm sure many others will too. So this is what the I-beam looks like. And basically what I wanted to do is, for my scratch build, actually, let me show you. I'll show you how far I've got with the scratch build. So this is how it currently looks as it stands. Yeah, you can use evergreen as well. Yes, that's correct. And yeah, you can use evergreen. There is evergreen and there is Plastistruct. I use the Plastistruct version. That was what was available. So basically, this is how my shed. Well, say my shed. It's me listening to Dave's trains going on. He's going 40 degrees in the shed. So yeah, so I kind of, my brain hadn't quite processed it properly. Right. So this is my little building that I've been doing, and basically what I've done is I've added the Plastistruct onto the roof of the building, because basically it's to indicate that there's supports supporting the roof. So basically those struts are supporting the roof because it's a heavy roof. and basically it's got to take the weight, so therefore it's got the supports underneath. So those supports are all, it's all quite difficult to see, but it's all on in the roof. So that's what I've done. So I put a new piece of card in exactly the same way as I showed you last week, but what I did this time is I put the struts across, and that indicates, kind of gives it a bit of detail, and it also sort of shows the supports. Also what I've done is I've also done all the cladding, and also I've also done the ends and the capping. Now the only thing, I'll be honest, what this I-beam has done is actually lowered the height overall, so my O8 doesn't fit anymore. However, I am going to raise the building and put it onto some plinths. So yes, so let me explain to you now. Now, when you last saw it, it wasn't actually painted apart from the roof. So let me show you what I used. What I used is I used this rail match dark rust, and that is for two reasons. The reason why I've used it is for two reasons. Like I said, there's one to do the weathering on the actual roof itself. Hello Dungewood, and welcome to the stream. So one is to do the actual the weathering on the roof, but also to give the rest of the building a base coat to work from. So rather than having the plastic white, I've used the dark rust all over just to give it a base coat. This particular can cost me £6.15 from the local model shop. I could have gone to Halford's. That will work equally well if you get like the red oxide, I think, primer. So you can use that. So basically I sprayed a whole lot, and then that's where we're kind of at the moment with it. So yeah, it's quite expensive stuff for what it is, to be honest. I would have gone a cheaper route if I could find it. Maybe Wilko's do some cheaper stuff, but I couldn't see it in my local Wilko's. Other stuff we're going to need tonight is, I'm not sure, we're going to start off with the Mascol. Thank you, Jeff. We're going to start off with some Humbrol Mascol, and we'll get on to what these individual bits do as we go along. I have some Humbrol 56. I'm not really too sure if we're going to be using that tonight. That depends how we get on with the Humbrol, because that might be done on Sunday. If we do a live stream on Sunday, if I have to do the roof, I'll probably end up doing it on a Sunday. And then I've got 70. I've got two, because basically just in case I run out. Also, I've got this old makeup brush, blusher brush. The spray paint was a colour match, and it was a dark rust. The other thing, like I said, we're going to use is an old toothbrush, and we're going to use a selection of paint brushes. Now these I got from, I think it was like Works Workshop or some haberdashery store. Don't get them from the model shop, because if you get them from the model shop, you get ripped off pretty much, because you end up paying more. So if you just get, I got this from the Works, and basically you get like a whole pack for £1 or £3 or something, like this one here. This one was £3 from the Works, and you got about 10 brushes or something like that. You don't have to get big, good quality brushes for what we're going to do. So I wouldn't get too overly excited about getting the best brushes for it. And that's pretty much about it, really. Now, it's a pity because I haven't seen him yet, but CSX Rensville has basically sent me, well, he didn't send me a message, but he put a comment up. And he put a comment up, and he suggested to me a building which he thought that looks remarkably like, or what I was trying to replicate. So the best picture I have of it, and hopefully it will come out, I suppose, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think I can see it. I know it's a bit glary because you've seen it from my iPad, but that's kind of a building. I've got a few more, and this is at Stockport Edgeley, I think. I think it was. And so basically, so thank you to him. It's a pity he's not online at the moment because he usually tunes in. So yes, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can rotate the camera without it falling to bits again like last week, because that'll be really good. I'm going to try and see. Right, yes, I think we're all good. We can all see everything. You can all still hear me, I haven't cut anyone off. Right, so the first thing I'm going to use. Hello, Scott Malcolm, and welcome from Canada. So the first thing I'm going to use is I'm going to use the Humbrol Mascot. Now, if there are people out there, if those of you who have never used this stuff before, it's very, very good stuff. And basically what you do is it's like liquid masking tape, and you can use it. Hello Matthew Walker, and hello from south of England to Leeds. And basically all we're going to be doing with Mascot is you use it as protection, is what you're basically, like I said, it is masking tape. And basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to create rust effects and things like that on the roof. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show this dark rust that's currently on here on the finished product when it's finished. But obviously I'm going to go over it with other different colours. Sure, which one? This one? Is that better? I was hoping to get some better light. Right, so basically what we're going to do is put this Mascot just randomly, just on the top part, and then we're going to let it go off, and then once it goes off, then we can paint it in the colour that we actually want. And then once we're ready, we can then, once everything's dried, then you can take the Mascot off, and that will basically reveal the colour that these spots of rust underneath. Now I'm not sure if we're going to paint the roof today because it might have to wait. So we'll see. In fact, actually, we are going to leave it. I'm going to do it at the end of the stream actually, because otherwise I might get it on my hands whilst I'm painting the rest of it. Right. So what we'll do is you know what I didn't do, stupidly, silly of me, is I didn't, because these are new, I didn't actually, here we go. Right, hopefully we're going to get there now. I bought, these are brand new Humbrols, and what I didn't do is I didn't think to take the plastic off the brand new. Right, there we go. Right, that's that off. Right, so give it a while. Oh yeah, the other thing you're going to need is you're going to need a tub. Doesn't matter what tub it is, because it's going to get messy. Right, so in the tub it goes. So this is all, now if you've never done weathering before, and this is a simple, very, very simple way. Hello Richard at New Junction, thank you for joining in. If you've never done weathering before, this is so easy and it's actually quite fun, but it is very, very messy. So I'm just gonna, and what I do with this generally speaking is I do one panel at a time. And if you're an impatient person, if you're an impatient person like me and want to get things done quite quickly, then this basically is like an instant way of finishing your building, really, and getting it over the door straight away. Right, let's see what we got here. So let's see if it is. I don't really need a big brush, really. One like that will do. The colour I'm using is number 70, and according to Humbrol, it is brick brown. So that's what we're using. So I'm just gonna wipe that off. Right, so like I said, this isn't the best brush in the world, but you don't have to be too careful with it. And I do one end at a time. I don't do it all and then do the rest of it, because basically what we're going to do, all the effects has to be done whilst the paint is wet. It is very, very easy to do. So we're gonna, and the other thing is, if some of the paint underneath comes through, it doesn't really matter either, because it just adds to the texture of the brickwork, because not all the brickwork's the same. So you get sort of different colours and different types of weathering. This is just how I do it. There's lots of people out there with airbrushes and air guns and things like that that will probably do a more fantastic job. But this is a way that I do it, because it is so easy and anyone can do it, really. And I just come across this technique. I can't remember if I actually did it myself. It was just an experiment I did, or whether I saw it somewhere. But right, you'll see why we need the tub in a minute. So we're just painting this along. I was hoping that we'd have some decent light like we did on the last stream, but unfortunately we don't. So so into the brick it all goes. Now the reason for me doing this live is sometimes it's easier to demonstrate what I'm doing, and then if you see something as I'm doing it and you don't quite understand it, as long as I see what you're putting up on the stream, then hopefully I can then answer your question. Forgive me if I'm not completely paying attention to the chat, just because I'm just doing this at the minute. Right. Make sure it's right up in there. Right. So that's one bit done. Let's just put that out the way, because it's going to get a bit messy now. Right, so let's just show you what I've done so far. So that's it painted. That's just one end. And as you can see, hopefully from the roof, you can tell it's a slightly different colour. So now what you do is you act like this thing is on fire and you need to put it out. So you need to put some water in it. So our water is talcum powder. And this does two things. You'll see it in a minute. And you just stipple it on. Don't have to be careful with this at all. You just throw it on. Like I said, this is just like acting like the water, and you're putting the flames out. And there we go. Right, so that's nicely in there. Right. Yes, yes, yeah, my building smells very nice afterwards. Right, so that's just one. So, next question we ask ourselves is, why am I doing this? Why have I put talcum powder onto this building? Two reasons. Answered on a postcard. Right, the two reasons are, one is that you're instantly aging the building, so you're making the building look older and you're making it look weathered. And then secondly of all, which is really great, it instantly dries the building. The building is completely instantly dry. You can touch it, you can put it in the layout once it's all done. But this is why you need your old toothbrush, because now what you're doing is you're getting rid of all the excess now. And like I said, that's why you kind of need the tub really. Now, I haven't done that on the top there, but just get rid of all that. Right. I don't know how well this is going to come out, but what it will do is, now this particular panel is all ready. It's basically finished. You can leave it as is, really. Right. I don't know if this will show or how well it will come out. But you can see that there's various different degrees of residue. It looks kind of, it's a way of weathering. You've aged it. I mean, like I said, I could clean this up properly. Yeah, you can fix it with matte varnish afterwards. It's just like any, basically, if you wanted to take this off, you could get like a damp cloth and wipe it off, and then you'll come back to the original building. But basically, so you got it for two reasons. You know, one, it dries it instantly, and then the next thing is obviously it ages the building. So let's just carry on with the next piece. So that's a quick, so like I said, if you've never done this before, it is so easy. Like I said, it beats getting the air. One of the things that puts me, I don't own an airbrush, and one of the things that puts me off getting an airbrush is the messing around that you need to do with the cleaning afterwards and things like that I don't particularly like. So that's why I'd rather use this technique, because it's a lot simpler and it's a lot cheaper. So we do, yeah, I agree. I actually like getting my hands, it's actually one of my favourite bits. I love scratch building. I do. I love sort of doing stuff like this. So I'm just doing this end at the moment as we speak. Just get it right in there. And in there as well. But we will do the inside as well. And as you can see, it really doesn't take that long, to be honest. It really doesn't. So it's nice and easy. But like I said, it does get a bit messy with the talcum powder going everywhere, which is why, you know, I've kind of used this tub. I haven't always. Sometimes you can use newspaper. If you've got newspaper, use that. Put it on some newspaper, and then you can, like I said, just stipple it on, so you can get it into all the grooves and all into the nooks and crannies. Don't sort of brush it on, just stipple it on. Yeah, I know some people have done salt weathering. To be honest, it's like I said, this is the only real weathering I really know how to do. I've never experimented with locos because I don't know how to do it. This is like, I do it because I've made the building. Because at the end of the day, if it goes wrong, I've made it, I'll make another building, you know, I know how it's been put together. Whereas with weathering, with weathering locomotives, I don't particularly want to spend 150 quid or whatever it is on a locomotive and get it wrong. I mean, I know you'd practice on an old wagon and things, but it's not really and the thing is with this technique as well, with the toothbrush technique and talcum powder, if you think it looks too light, you can put some more paint on, or you could take some off, or you can clean it up more so it doesn't look so white, it doesn't look so pale. So you can make a load of, if you think, oh, you just keep buffing it, and you kind of get these areas where it comes a really nice texture, where you get some parts which are darker, others which are lighter, and it all looks kind of weathered. Right, so that one still looks a bit, yeah, I'm not really too pleased on that bit. Let's get that in there. Right. That's a bit, yeah, that's a bit better. And like I said, if you're not happy with it, you just go over it again, really. Right, so now we've got this side to do. So let me just get that out of the way for a second, because I don't want to put, see, like I said, I can put that side, the other side I've done, put it on here, lift it up, there's no paint residue, there's no paint marks. I'm touching it, look, see, it's all dry instantly, it's all done instantly, you don't have to worry about it. Right, the other side. I should have like a time-lapse camera and speed it up, like ground force, or like sometimes Richard does at New Junction, just has a little time-lapse camera and just speeds it all up. Right, so just get it into all the nooks and crannies. Like I said, you don't have to be careful with this at all. Not at all. You don't have to buy expensive brushes. You can use household items. You know, so you know, you're not going to model shops and buying their specific items, except for the rail match, which costs you more, when you can use some of household items, which would probably do the trick just as well. I'm trying to monitor the chat. Forgive me if I'm not really paying a huge amount of attention as I'm trying to get into this. As you see, I'm not being overly careful about this at all. Right, so again, and the good thing is when I done this side, isn't even going to look anything like the other side, because it's going to go off in different ways and it's going to be different textures and yeah, so you're all singing the ground force tune on my behalf. Oh, fantastic. Right, so we're back in here. So back to the old, just stipple it in. So you don't have to be too careful, just shove it on. And like David said, you get a nice smelling building at the end of it. Getting high on baby powder. Right. Right, so here we go. So we're all, as the Department for Works and Pensions say, we're all in. Right, done. Right, scrap paintbrush and remove the excess to reveal right, so that's the majority of it off. And that is instantly dry. So just want to get into that corner a little bit where they marry up, just to try and blend them in. Now we've got to do the inside, well, do the ends, and then we can start on the inside. And you can see, so you can see how the building's just taking shape, and it's not taking very long at all. This is very, very quick and painless and easy, and it's actually quite enjoyable. Right, so now I've got to do this end. And that end. So it doesn't matter if you miss bits and pieces out, it all adds to the texture and the weathering. Right, so that's that end done. And then there's this end here. Just slightly blend that into the ends there so I can blend that in. So it goes in there. Once again, our building's on fire, put the flames out. Right, that's that. There you go, that's the kitty. Right, done, done, and then we have right. Okie dokie. So, right, so that is, let's just get rid of that because I haven't done that side yet. I haven't done the inside yet, so we'll just get rid of that, clean that up a bit. Okay, so this is how the outside, like I said, we've only been going, we haven't been going on a huge amount of time, but it goes to show you that it doesn't take very long to do this. So let's give you a bit of a no two patches. If you're not happy with it, just keep buffering it until you get what you like. If it's too pale, just keep going over it. Take some more of the talcum powder off with the old toothbrush. If you haven't got enough, just add some more on. So let's see if I can sort of show you roughly what we've got. It probably won't come out too well on here. I don't know how well this is coming out. It sort of comes out better if I took like proper stills, but you can see from the picture that you can see the brickwork, and if it is looking a bit too pale, like I said, you can take some more off and you can sort of, but you can see that pretty much the building is taking shape. And I don't know if I've got it with me. I could have done it have it with me, but I put it to one side. I could have got the cloth and buffed it up a bit so you could see it. Right, so we're going to quickly do the inside, and that's what we'll do next, because it's not going to take very long to do the inside, as you can imagine. So on this whole stream, we're going to do the whole building, and then we'll probably do the roof on Sunday, if anyone's interested in that. Now, careful with these I-beams and stuff like that. So, are we all happy with this technique and understand it, or is there any questions or anything like that that anyone would like to ask? Please feel free to do so. Like I said, it might seem like I'm doing it in a bit of a rush, but I wouldn't worry too much, because it really doesn't matter and it really doesn't take that long to do in reality, as you can see yourself. And like I said, if you want to spend more time on it, then feel free, you can do. Yeah, I mean, it is, I can understand it, because the stream probably isn't in like, it's proper. I try and keep the camera still, so it's like high best definition as you can see it, but you kind of get the general gist of what I'm doing, and you can use weathering powders and stuff like that onto it to add different textures and different colors. Well, the thing is, if you use a damp cloth, yeah, it will take some of it off, or it will take all of it off, depending on how damp it is. It's a case of experimenting, really, to see how you like it. I mean, the way I can see it in front of me compared to what you see it is probably actually slightly different. If I put some stills up, it will probably show up better exactly what I've done, so you can have a better idea of the colour as such. So we're just gonna but like I said, you know, you just keep adding to it or taking away from it, depending. If it's too light, you just add a bit more colour. If you don't like it, where was I? I am on this side. Just quickly just throw this on. Like I said, you don't have to be precise about any of this at all. Right, so again, that side is now, the inside is now done. Right. And the other thing is when I'm doing the inside, some of the talcum powder is going to overspill onto the outside, which I've just done. So you end up even more texture that I'll have to go to clean it up, but that's okay. Just just work it in. It doesn't. Right, more on that. Okie dokie. Right, here we go. Am I going to put lights in it? Yeah, somebody else asked that. I'm not actually sure if I am. I mean, I can do. I did think about it at the time, but I'm not really. To be honest with you, I'm not really too sure whether I am or not. I know I did with some of my other buildings at Beringer, but it depends on what contents whether I'm gonna get. Yeah, I mean, there is no right or wrong to this. You just keep adding or taking away to it. I mean, I'll tell you what I'll do. Look, just to show you, this is still wet paint. Look. So now you've kind of introduced different variations, different textures. Hello, Mulder. So yeah, so you can see now I've just added wet paint on top of dry paint, and you know, you've ended up with all these different textures. And then I'm not going to add in any more talcum powder, but all I'm doing is I'm just rubbing it in. And now look, now you've got this kind of like, can you see you kind of got a mottled effect now? It's like all different shades and textures and stuff like that. So there's no sort of rights or wrongs to it. So again, look, you look at that. That might look a bit too pale to you. You think, oh, that looks a bit white. Again, I'm just taking the paint that's on the lid, and just randomly. I'm not being particular about it. So like I said, you know, it doesn't matter. And now you've kind of got this mottled effect. And if you don't like it, you just add some more. Well, the thing is, I guess for me, scrapline, I know you say a lot of people shy away from it, but I don't mind doing it because I made the building. So at the end of the day, if I get this wrong, I'll just throw it in the bin and make another one. But to some people, obviously, if you're not confident, then obviously it can be daunting. And when I first did it, I don't know how I come across this technique. I really can't remember if it's something that I just did off myself and I just experimented and I liked it, or if I got it off somebody else. I can't really quite remember. Right, so now I'm going to do the other side, because that's the other side to finish it off, because I haven't done that. So let's just paint the other side, the inside of the other side. Like I said, there's no real right or wrong ways to do it. You know, you kind of look at it and you see what looks right. And like I said, the building's instantly dry, so if you're impatient and you want to get it done, you know, I can hold it and it's not a problem. I'm not going to get paint all over my clothes. I'm not going to get it, have to wait for hours for it to dry. It just, a point of note, I am actually using acrylic paints, not oil paint. So that's something else I should have told you as well. They're all acrylic paints that I'm using because I prefer to work with them. They dry a lot quicker. They don't smell as much or anything. In fact, they don't smell at all. So I always prefer to work with acrylics. So I don't have any issues with them on here in terms of how they go on, whether you get a better finish or not. I just tend to work with them. Yeah, exactly. The more you work on it, it starts to come to life, and you kind of look at it. And like I said, if you do decide to attempt something like this, don't be afraid to. You know, it's at the end of the day, you know, I understand that Bachmann and all the other manufacturers are going to build certain types of buildings, and they don't always agree to what we want. And sometimes the only way you're going to get those buildings is if you make it yourself. So. Buonasera, Valeria. Welcome to the stream. All right, so we're going to do that. Right. So this is the last bit to do, which is the inside bit. And then we can right, so that'll be it. And now let's do the last bit. Hello William Robinson, welcome to the stream. Good evening. I'm hoping I'm keeping up with everybody. I'm trying to, forgive me if I kind of miss out on the chat a little bit. So again, we're just shoving it on. Don't have to be precise, just the only thing I would say is if you stipple it on, it's better. Rather than brush it on, just stipple it in to make sure it gets into everywhere and stuff. Right. Old brush. Get all the excess off. Excess, I should say. So that needs a bit more. Sometimes you can see if it needs a bit more. Now, the other thing about using plastic card is if you have old Metcalfe buildings or old Hornby buildings, you can sort of line them with plastic card and sort of do this, and it gives them a completely different look. Right. Right, that's that done. And we'll just throw a little bit. And again, it just gives a mottled effect. I'm not really that bothered. It's completely random. I'm not particularly, it's better that way because it's more spots like that. So you really do have a mottled effect. So I don't know if, like I said. So I don't know if you can see it. So right, so that's pretty much it, and I will do that side a bit more. See, I know looking at this thinking, oh, that looks a bit pale. Okay, just add a bit more paint. So that looks all right. I might have to go over it again, but yeah, for now, that's okay. I might give it a few days and go, okay, I'd like to do a bit more on it. Right. Right, so that's all done. And in the course of this stream, we have basically done the shell of the building. Basically, William, it's basically a coal tower and a water tower in one, and it's based on a picture that I saw in the BRM magazine, but CSX Wrensville pointed me to Stockport Edgeley Depot, and they have a very similar kind of thing going on. So that's kind of that. Now I have what's left of some makeup powder, black makeup powder. Why? Hello Cheryl Henley, welcome to the stream. And basically all you're doing is putting just a little bit of dirtiness and grubbiness into it. This is just an old makeup brush on the end here, and you're just adding and introducing a bit of black to it and giving it another bit of texture. It's going to be hard for me to show you on here because it probably won't come out very well. But this is just, I'm trying to see, I don't know if it will glisten, or you can just sort of see the different effects coming through. And like I said, I mean, obviously without the roof, it kind of detracts it a little bit. Thank you, Chef Eiffel Junction, if I've got this right again, I can never remember how to say it. I wanted to actually mention you as well, because actually your video was really useful on hardwiring my 156, and I wanted to thank you for that. So adding this black, it's very subtle, but it gives it this well, the only reason why I come across this, Mobius, about using the makeup powder is because it's what I had to hand, and I was just curious to see whether or not the makeup powder would work. And it seems to work, and it gives this kind of dirty, it's kind of subtle on this one, to be honest. Right, so it's kind of hard to do it like this. Let's see, because I haven't got much of this thing left, so it's quite difficult to use the residues of it. Just working it in. Some of these buildings got really filthy and really dirty. Yeah, well, one of the advantages of being trans, I guess. I like modelling and I like makeup, so kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, this is like I said, if you're going to Superdrug or Boots or something like that, just get the cheapest one you can find. Well, like I said, yeah, exactly, you're right. I mean, if you go to specific model shops for specific items, sometimes just to get one item, you come away paying a fortune just for one item. Sometimes just in your everyday stores. And I'll give you an example of this. As you guys are well aware, I'm transgendered. And when I first came out, there were shops out there that prey on people who are transgendered. And because they expect us to be you know, they expect some girls like me who are trans to be really quite shy and timid and all the rest of it. And so they prey on that, and so they charge you the earth for stuff like clothes and shoes. And it got to a point one day where I just thought, I'm not going to pay an extortionate amount of money just because somebody wants to make money out of somebody like myself, when I can go to Marks and Spencer's or Next or one of the other shops, mainline high street shops, and get things for a damn sight cheaper. So that's what I did. Thank you, Dundee Road. Right, okay, so this is where we're at with this scratch build for tonight. Now I'm going to do the hump roll in a minute, the muskol for the top, if I can find. So obviously in stills it would probably look better than it does because obviously you get a more high definition. But I hope it comes across that you can see the various colours and textures and tones and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So so that's kind of where we're at. The building is now essentially finished. The roof I'm going to be doing on Sunday probably. I'll probably do a live stream on Sunday to do the roof. But because what I need to do is I need to put the maskol on it, and the maskol is going to take a little bit of time to dry, and we've already been going for an hour. So I'm going to quickly show you how to put on the I'm going to quickly show you how to use the maskol, and then on Sunday we'll do the roof on a Sunday night if people are available. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now I wish I had that cloth. I don't know what I did with it, so bear with me a second everybody as I try and look for it. If not, oh there it is, I can see it. Okay. Right, I'm back. So what I'm going to do, because obviously talcum powder gets absolutely everywhere, as you can imagine. Right, so this is our building at the moment. So before we go, I'm just going to put this maskol onto this, and then we'll leave it until Sunday. And if I have to do it beforehand, it's not. You'll see when it goes off, because it goes like a clear colour. Thank you, Cheryl. No, I'm not really. I'm not. But yeah, go for the cheapest makeup you can probably find. And guys, if you are going to do that, just say it's for your wife or something. You know, I'm sure they'll be fine. You might get some strange looks, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, right, so we're just going to randomly, I'm not going to be too precise about this, because again, that's all part of the fun. It just goes wherever. I'm not going to, because when it all comes off, it would just be spottled, hit and mottled. And you know, like I say, if you don't like it, you just go over it again. There's none of this kind of. And what I'll do is I'll do the inside in a little while, or some point. So when it comes to Sunday, I can show you what it all does. Now, what this is doing is basically all these spots. When you take the brush, like the old brush, whatever paint you put over it, once the maskol's gone off and you put your paint over it, your finishing paint, that acts as liquid masking paint, and then you use the brush to take off the masking, the maskol, and then basically that will reveal the rust that you've got lying underneath. So that's pretty much it. So I've never actually done that technique, to be honest with you. I know some people have Dundee Road, but I haven't used the salt technique myself personally. Like I said, it's it is what it is. I mean, everyone's got their own sort of techniques and ways of doing things. This is just how I do it. There's no rights or wrongs about the way people do things. It's like I said, this is just how I do it, and hopefully it comes out. And in the end, if it doesn't, hey, it's only my building. I didn't pay anything for it as such. I just built it myself. So, and I'll fix it up anyway, and it will come out fine. So that's going to be it, everybody. Because we've been going for what, nearly 1 hour and 10 minutes now. So we're going to leave it there, because I think that's a good point to stop. And on Sunday, we'll probably do a live session at some point on Sunday evening, or something like that. If not Sunday, maybe Monday, because oh yeah, that's the other thing. I am going to go to RailX. I'm hoping to go to RailX, and I'm looking. I'm going to go on Sunday, not Saturday. So if any of you guys are going, I'll probably end up going there on the Sunday. Okay, so that's it, everybody. I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And like I said, Philip, as soon as I find out any information about the council and my job, about doing the stream on the shuttle, I will let you know. So, like I said, everybody, thank you for watching, and I'm glad you got something. Hopefully, you get something out of it, and just have a go. That's all I can say. So, bye, everyone. Bye from Ringwood South.